The Devil May Cry reboot is one of the most controversial games ever released. People were not happy with the new art direction and overall edgy tones of the reboot at DmC. If I could compare the hatred for this game to something more current, it would be the Saints Row reboot. Nobody was happy with that game, and it led to a beloved studio in Volition closing down permanently. Now, the decision to reboot Devil May Cry was a strange one considering that DmC 4 had done reasonably well, and it wouldn't be until 2019 that a sequel to the original series would be made and released. It was Capcom themselves that ultimately made the decision to reboot the series to, quote, appear to a more Western audience. In charge of the reboot was UK-based developer Ninja Theory, a studio whose only work besides DmC was known for Heavenly Sword, which I have still yet to play. So, would their grittier, more Western Devil May Cry do well and appeal to the fans?
And I got a bigger dick.
Damn, bro, that's edgy.
Starting off at the Tokyo Game Show in 2010, DmC Devil May Cry, Devil May Cry, Devil May Cry, got it, was shown off with the main protagonist Dante looking nothing like his original self. Now, it's said that Ninja Theory were aiming for a similar look to the OG Dante, but Capcom themselves rejected it. So we got this. And for what the game is going for, honestly, it works. I don't hate it. If you were there for this game's initial announcement, fans were not happy with people trashing the new Dante design, calling him emo this, a bunch of emo jokes that were overall just pretty stupid.
It's my judgment that the new Dante looks stupid! Half demon, half angel, potty mouth, teeny bopper.
Just not giving the game a chance, and Ninja Theory themselves did not help, saying shit like, quote, if Dante dressed as he was, walked into any bar outside of Tokyo, he'd get laughed out. What Devil May Cry did when it launched was it brought everything that was great about action cinema like fashion, music. It was like a cultural melting pot, and I feel like now for Devil May Cry to have that same impact, it needs to draw on new things. New music, new ways of cinematography, new fashion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
End quote. I can't drink, but if I was at a bar and I saw the OG Dante and the reboot Dante without knowing each of them, I would go hang out with the OG personally. Also, they doubled down on it by doing this.
Not in a million years.
The best part is that he actually looks way better with the wig on. But way to go, Ninja Theory. Insulting your player base is always a smart business tactic. I'm looking at you, Volition. The DmC reboot was looking dead in the water with all this negative backlash. The more trailers that were showed more changes being made that would hopefully make some of the originality come back. But the fateful day came in January of 2015. When Devil May Cry for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and later in 2015 for the PS4 and Xbox One was the Definitive Edition. That is the version I'm reviewing, so I get the lock-on and the 60 FPS. Yeah, if you didn't know, when this game launched, it didn't have a lock-on feature, which for a Devil May Cry game is just straight out sinful. So in regards to the reboot and how I feel about it, yeah, I actually enjoy this game. This isn't a video where I'm going to overly trash the reboot. Now, that's not saying I don't love all of it. For one, the story is something. It immediately sets the tone with Dante bringing home 2 strippers because edgy and cool. But the actual concept of the story is cool, with demons controlling the world and there being this alternate world to ours called Limbo. This promotional artwork for the game suggests that Limbo was going to be the name of a city, but then was changed to an alternate reality. The dialogue at times is cringe, other times funny, but always overly edgy. I jokingly refer to this game as Devil May Cry the Rob Zombie cut. Thankfully, this game is better than every Rob Zombie film ever made, not named Halloween and Devil's Rejects. Accompanying this new tone is the soundtrack done by bands Noisia and Combi Christ.
Off my trailer.
I hope I said that right. And the soundtrack is actually good. Yeah, I took the time to listen to the soundtrack on the bus ride to school today. When I'm doing this voiceover anyway, and it's actually good. I recommend it. This game is also obsessed with swearing.
On your prime day, you ugly sack of shit.
Like a lot. Now don't get me wrong, I like swearing in my video games, but I feel like it's overdone here. Dante in this game feels like he swears just for the sake of swearing. He's like that one kid who cusses in class because he thinks it's cool. The characters in DMC are okay. Dante did win me over. He starts the game as a total douchebag who only cares about himself, and ends the game being the human protector. He reminds me a lot of Nero from DMC 4. I don't mean that he is like Nero, I just mean like sort of that anger and angst for that Nero had is kind of seen here at the beginning of the game. There's Kat, who is the game's female character, and she's actually a really cool character. I liked her a lot. She ends up being a love interest for Dante near the end, and all things considered, had a very good story arc. There's Mundus, and before he commented, yes, I'm aware they pronounce it wrong. It's Mundus in the original series, but they call him Mundus, so I'm going to call him Mundus. Mundus is this game's Lex Luthor, and I'm not saying that just because he's bald. He's literally Lex Luthor if he was in demon form. And then there's Vergil. Vergil sucks in this game. I legitimately cannot stand the way Vergil is written here. Like, firstly, he's the leader of a terrorist movement trying to expose demons to the uneducated, which for the plot it works, but then the cream of the crop is when he shoots a pregnant woman.
Fuck. The hell did you do that for? I had to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Vergil would never do this. And at the end of the game, Vergil was just randomly revealed to be evil, but they did tease this numerous times, so I can't sit here and say it was out of nowhere. Speaking of bosses, I don't really have a complaint about them. There's the Hunter Demon, which just serves as a basic intro boss, much like the Reaper in DMC 3. Wasn't too challenging, it was fun. There's the Succubus boss, which is actually a pretty fun boss fight, and it gave us, what's probably most known about this game is this clip right here.
Tell me, I'm 1,200 years old.
You don't look a day over 12,000.
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
The game actually crashed during the middle of the boss fight, which really annoyed me. It's a multi-stage boss fight, which isn't bad here, because I, for one, really dislike multi-stage boss fights. That's one of my biggest critiques of Spider-Man 2, is that every boss fight was a multi-stage boss fight. I'm just not a fan of these. But here it wasn't too tedious. Succubus was the only boss I died a couple times on through the entire game. Next, we have Alex Jones. This boss fight is... hold up. Oh, sorry. Barbas. His name's Bob Barbas. Excuse me. He really is this game's version of Alex Jones, though, with his extreme news reports and insults towards Dante. This is actually my second favorite boss fight in the game. And while it's not insanely difficult, I do like the visual aesthetic of it, and I just think it overall looks cool. But now that I'm on the topic of Bob Barbas, this gives me the chance to talk about Raptor News Report. Sorry. Then there's this thing. It's a multi-stage boss fight again, but it was fun, all things considered, and it's a better boss fight than this jackass. Mundus has his own boss fight that is fine. It's like the Succubus one, being that you must jump from platform to platform and damage both of its arms. Wasn't too difficult, I didn't mind it. And finally we have the main event and easily the best boss in the game, Vergil. Now, despite anybody with a working brain cell knowing Vergil was going to turn heel, this legitimately is a solid boss fight. It works just like a Vergil boss would. It's similar to the first fight in DMC 3 with some new moves added in that the original didn't have. Now, in the past, I have gone back to this game just to play this boss fight. And it's very fun. I beat this game on Devil Hunter difficulty. I am currently working on doing a playthrough on Nephilim, which is the game's hard mode. Haven't gotten to Vergil yet, so I can't really comment if it's hard or not. But I enjoyed it. So far, Nephilim, the game's pretty easy because your upgrades don't reset. Now, the gameplay itself is very damn good. Potential hot take here, apart from DMC 5, this has the most fluid and fast gameplay in the series. It's probably going to trigger some guys, but I mean, that's just my opinion. I gotta call it like I see it. The combo system is really well done. It's simplified, so maybe that's why it's easier to get triple S combos, but the combat section is something I'm definitely a fan of. Now, they did remove some stuff from the original series. The style system is gone, and so is using red orbs for new moves. Instead, using dedicated upgrade points. These are obtained pretty fast, but red orbs are gained at an extraordinarily slow rate. And I don't like that. Like, yeah, I bought some items on my playthrough, but I only finished the game with about 1,500 orbs or so. In the replacement of styles, Dante has an angel and a demon combat mode that come with their own devil arms that are all useful and have their own purposes. There's this grapple hook that works with both styles, and it's used a lot in gameplay. It did feel a tad bit overused at times, but I do like the new addition to gameplay. You can also use them in combat, so it's not like they're useless. There's also this long glide that Dante does that kind of feels similar to Dante's abilities when using Trickster in the original series. Again, it can be used in combat to evade enemies, so it's not useless. As you can see by the footage I recorded, I have access to the DLC skins, and the classic costumes to me just look off. Like, they don't fit this Dante. Graphically, they look amazing, but they just look funky. It looks like someone's cosplaying as DMC 1 Dante, and it's not DMC 1 Dante. The other skins are alright. I used them in the past, and obviously I had to use them again for this review, and they're okay. I only really like the DMC 3 and 1 skins. Looking at the concept art, there were a lot of outfits proposed that Dante had with white hair and a red coat. And there's also this design, which, thank God they did not use this design. Also, beating the game unlocks a costume that is just Dante's base design but with white hair. So they gave it to us anyway. DMC got a DLC expansion in the form of Vergil's Downfall, and oh my god, this DLC is so bad, it's not even funny. And it's not due to the gameplay, because Vergil's gameplay is just as fun as Dante's, but the story is god-awful. Like, they make it to where Vergil is the hero, and Dante and Kat are portrayed as evil and power-hungry, despite that being the exact opposite in the game's ending. The cutscenes are cool, but I really cannot stand the way they handled Vergil in this game. First off, they have him kill Kat, which is just ridiculous. The DLC is pretty much about Vergil seeking power and coming back to the human world, so it's they're trying to do it like how it was portrayed in DMC 3, but oh my god, this DLC is awful. I honestly do enjoy this game though, despite all the dumb shit in it. Most people who hate this game either do legitimately hate it, and that's fine, and some wrote it off having never played it. Now, this is not me saying your opinion is wrong. I'm never going to say that your opinion is wrong on a bad game, or a so-called bad game, because, I mean, if you've been on the channel, you know I like some bad games. Cough, cough, Def Jam Icon. But to me personally, DMC is a very good game, minus some of the stupid shit in the story and Vergil's entire character. It's a great game. I enjoyed the gameplay, level design, and the music. And if I had to give it a score, I'd give the final verdict for DMC Devil May Cry a solid 7 out of 10. I recommend this game to DMC fans. If you're new to the series, check it out. Or if you wrote it off back then, give it a try. Next time, we're going to take a look at Devil May Cry 4, released in 2008. I'm covering the special edition, so I have all the characters in DLC. I'm excited to play it again. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace. I'm out.